Hello, hello, hello. We are live again. Tonight we have a really awesome program planned for you. When you enter, please let us know you're here. Let us know where you're from. And for our friends that are watching the replay, hello to you as well. So before we start tonight's really awesome and wonderful program, just a couple of announcements. I wanted to welcome our brand new 90 Days to Stellar Style students. We started a new program on Monday night and we have 11 new members of our Stellar Style family. And Sarah and Jen Coletti are leading that, and stylist Kathy Smith is also involved in this cohort. So we're super excited and just thrilled that you're joining our Stellar Style family, and we are starting to enroll our January session. So you know the rules, you know the routine. Get on my calendar, happy to talk to you and share how we can be of service to you in the new year. So tonight is a really awesome program. We are celebrating two very, very special women. Sarah Zengo, who you all know, she's usually on the other side of the camera, but she's out tonight. She is celebrating 10 years with Dressing Well this fall. And Sarah, we met at Starbucks in Needham.
Yep.
You were pregnant?
7 months.
7 months with Miss Molly,
Yep.
who's 10.
Yes.
And it was an instant connection.
Yep.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
And what I really love, I was looking at your calendar, and Sarah's first client was Maureen Blade, and she had her this week. You
Yep.
worked with her on Monday.
Yeah.
So Sarah doesn't just keep clients for a long time, she collects them.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's not a testament to the work that Sarah does for our firm, just extraordinary. We're going to learn and hear a little bit more about Sarah's background and her artistic flair. But tonight, first and foremost, I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you.
And I brought you a little something.
Thank you.
Sarah, really, thank you. You do so much, and I'm so glad that you're on this journey.
Thank you.
And you've
Me
done
too.
so much for my family.
Oh.
And I feel very blessed to have you as part of our Dressing Well family.
Thank you.
And you're in really good company. You know, we've had some amazing stylists, and when you came on board, I can't believe 10 years ago, it was the start of something very special and a really new way of doing business, and you were the perfect person, and you're still the perfect person.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
It's been a wonderful journey.
Okay, thank you. We're going to get into some of the questions in a little bit, but I just wanted to, I was thinking of how I could celebrate Sarah, and Sarah's mom passed away in 2019, and I had always heard about the tremendous artist that she was, but it wasn't until I came to this gallery, we are at the Zullo Gallery in Medfield, that I really understood the talent of Arlene Mollo. Really extraordinary. So I'm going to just give some of the highlights, and then I've got some questions for Sarah, and I'm going to have Sarah introduce her to her mom in a more intimate way. But Arlene was one of 8 children raised in Norwood. She's a visual artist and educator. She holds a PhD in law, policy, and society from Northeastern University with a concentration in arts cultural policy. That blew my mind. Then I went on to read that she earned a graduate degree in art education from the Massachusetts College of Art in Boston and a bachelor degree with distinction in fine arts from Emmanuel College in Boston. And the scholarship funds Emmanuel, right?
Yes.
And here's something, Sarah and her sister and her dad have also started a scholarship in her mom's name, and that is going, the sale of the paintings that you're going to see tonight, 100% of the sale of the paintings is going to fund that scholarship. And I think there's 25,000
Yep,
already?
at least.
25,000 already. And Maria, who is working the chat for us, is going to put up in the chat how you can donate to the scholarship if you feel moved to do so. I have a little surprise for Sarah at the end, but we're making a substantial donation tonight from our foundation to Arlene's scholarship. Sarah has done so much for our firm and so much for our nonprofit, and having studied her mom and really have gotten to know her through Sarah in this art exhibit, the apple doesn't fall far. What a generous spirit, and you are too, Sarah, so I'm happy to do that. In high school, Arlene participated in a foreign exchange program in the Philippines, a cultural experience that fueled her lifelong love of travel. And Sarah can speak to that a little bit more, but it definitely, when you start to see the paintings and understand Arlene's talent, she's a watercolorist. So much of her love and joy through her paintings came through her travel. So I'll let Sarah speak to that in a bit, but it's really obvious when you see these remarkable creations. She is also a lifelong learner, passionate about education, promoting creativity and inclusivity. And early in her career, she taught K-12 art in Medfield, and I think it's so cool that Sarah actually lives in Medfield with her family, and we're in Medfield, where she was a teacher, and she actually did show here.
She did, yes, in this gallery.
Yes, which is so cool. All these little connections. Before her retirement, she was professor and chair of College of Visual and Performing Arts at UMass Dartmouth. I think she was doing that when I first met you.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that, because that piqued my interest. I'm a UMass grad, as is Sarah. She enjoyed additional roles as a docent at the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. That really touched me. I loved that museum, and taught art classes at Rhode Island School of Design and at the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. She was also the co-founder of the Norwood Arts Association, and she juried countless exhibitions, participated in her community, and of course her legacy is now living in this amazing gallery. How long is the exhibit?
It's here through November 7th. The gallery's open weekends 12 to 5, and everyone is welcome.
Okay. So let me start, Sarah. Like, why was it important for, because you started, this has like been 2 years in the making.
Yep.
So walk us through why this was so important in your journey on getting your mom's art out of your home, your childhood home, the Cape Cod home, right?
Yep.
And getting it here, because I love that story. And why was that so important to your dad and your sister and yourself?
Yeah, my mom had always talked about having, her dream, I think, was to have a one-woman art show, and she was incredibly humble and modest, and also very proud of her work. But, a lot of her artwork had been, sort of saved, and it was at our home, and a lot of it was hanging on walls and in family members and friends' homes. And when she passed away, we just realized, we had so much of her work that we wanted to share with everyone, and we did not want to keep it for ourselves, and we wanted to be able to put it out into the world and just let others enjoy it as well. So my dad worked tirelessly over the last 2 years or so to make sure things were framed and matted properly and repaired if needed, and professionally photographed so that we have an archive of all of her work. So that we can then, feel good about allowing people to have it and purchase it, and then that we still have, the memories that she made.
Okay. So if I recall, there's over 50 pieces in this collection.
At the gallery.
At the gallery.
Yeah, 53.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. And these are for sale. And again, the proceeds do go to the scholarship fund. So if you see something, Sarah will be in the chat after tonight. We'll both be in the chat. If you want to come down and see the exhibit, Sarah can arrange for that. And if you see anything that catches your eye, they're definitely for sale, okay? So what was it like growing up with an artist for a mom?
I was thinking about this question. I loved it. I really did. I remember, a lot of my childhood spending time with her, and in our home, we've always had a studio in our basement, whether it was my childhood home where we grew up in Norwood, or on the Cape where it is now. And when I was little, my mom would work a lot of weekends because she'd be commissioned to make banners and design stained glass windows, and I used to just sit and watch her do that all day. Or, as a child, I would sit on a stool and quietly sort of watch her create. And I think the most, in addition to being able to, explore museums and just go with her wherever she wanted to kind of take me, I really enjoyed it. Seeing her be able to take a blank canvas and then make something out of it always blew my mind. I always thought that was, starting from a blank slate.
And I know that your, the technique that I had never heard before that we're going to show is can you explain that to us?
Yep, the white space.
The white space.
So my mom, watercolor is a pretty challenging medium in general, and my mom's studio, she called it White Space Studio. And the way that she used white space in her watercolors, and we'll show you a couple examples, is that the white space in her paintings would create a shape or a home, for example, I'll show you in a moment, and she would paint around it. So the white space actually created a shape, but it was the absence of paint. So
I love that.
yeah, so, which is, you know,
it's already trained my eye to look at things differently since you shared that with me. And in our work as stylists, it is always the biggest compliment when a client refers to you as an artist. So when your mom's an artist, that's even a bigger compliment. So talk a little bit about that. Like, how did your mom influence your career?
yeah, she was a huge influence on it. And I, as I said, you know, accompanying her to museums, and she taught at the Museum of Fine Arts, and I used to go with her, and I would take art classes. And while I have very little skill in actually drawing or painting, you know, I loved being around textiles and ceramics and everything. I was just exposed to it all the time as a child, and I loved it. You know, it was just something that was important to me.
But so even though you can't draw, you're still an artist.
Yes.
So talk about that.
Everyone always asks, you know, do you have the, like artistic ability? And then when I tell them I'm a stylist or fashion consultant, it's really, I mean, I love working with clients and putting together, finding colors that work together, you know, noticing interesting details in outfits and jewelry, and pulling them together in a way that I think is, you know, very artistic.
Okay. And do you have an example of that? Like a recent example of someone that you worked with? I could think of a couple, because I'm on the receiving end of a lot of Sarah's kudos. But there's been a couple lately that just had said to me, you know, I can't believe her eye for the, I would have never have seen that. So that's a common phrase that you must hear. I would have never done that on my own.
Well, I think, you know, it's easy to think about, you know, a special occasion, or when you have like a brocade dress or something, and then you pull out like a shoe or a bag that has a similar color or tone, like a bronze and rose gold, and you know, for me that is like, it's magic, and it just comes together. And I will throw things on the floor, like I'm sure you do, and kind of look, or I'll throw scarves out and then start assembling outfits and putting them together based on the colors in them.
Right.
And that's sort of,
Yeah, and that is the joy. I mean, that is the fun part. So you've got two children, Jack and Molly.
Yep.
Now, have they inherited this artistic ability?
I think they both have in a way. Jack is 12, and he's actually very artistic.
I've seen his work,
He's he can sketch.
He can sketch, yeah.
You know, sometimes I'll think he copied, like looked at a picture, and he'll come up with things and be able to draw with a great deal of realism. And my daughter Molly she says she wants to be a fashion designer. So in my office, she has like a little, you know, area of things where she takes some of my work items, and she's always drawing and pinning things to little pin boards and writing how colors should go together. So
awesome.
they love it.
Great. And what is something you would like the audience to know about your mom that might not be obvious? What is just something that made her really special? Because she's pretty special, so.
Well, two things, and this may be obvious from what you just shared, but she loved to teach as much as she liked to paint. And she was an excellent teacher. She would sort of, you know, always stop whatever she was doing to, you know, learn from someone, which in a way is teaching also, and you know, just generously share her expertise. And again, I said she was very humble, but she really loved people, and she found the most joy. She taught art education, and she found the most joy in, you know, just seeing children's expressions just start glowing, or understanding that, you know, children or adults could just produce art in a way that they didn't know that they could. You know, they didn't realize they had the capacity. So she was an excellent teacher, and very patient, just very kind.
Okay. Well, I think those are three qualities someone else has. To be good at this job and to be able to do it for 10 years, you have to be an incredible teacher. You have to be able to explain fashion in a way that people can understand it. You also have to be extremely kind, and whenever I hire anyone, you obviously have to have the artistic eye. A lot of that is inherent, but you've got to be nice. We can teach, a lot of what we do is business, you know, the etiquette and the business process of a small business, but you need to love people, and Sarah, you've definitely got that gift from her.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
I would like to show the paintings,
okay, great.
But I also just want to give you this, and this is from the Dressing Well Charitable Foundation.
Oh, my goodness.
And it's a check for the scholarship.
Thank you
and
so
you're
much.
very welcome, and just so we can write that check, and thank you for everything that you've done. We raise money day in and day out at the farm, and Sarah is just a leader in getting donated clothes to the right places at the right time, showing up at our charity events, and all the money, 100% of what we raise through our foundation goes to scholarships, goes to help empower people to be their best selves. And I can't, reading the description, and I know Maria is putting information up about Sarah's mom's website. Please jump on that website. You will really get a flavor for Arlene and also Sarah. And what I loved about the website was the photos.
Yeah.
The photos of Sarah's family and her mom, like just sitting in nature, sketching. And I think the word, I met Sarah's mom only a few times, but just humble pie, just humble pie. So awesome. So would you guys like to see the paintings? I want to see them. I want to see them through Sarah's lens. I've already seen them through my own lens, but I'd like to get some more intel from Sarah. So I see hello, Aunt Joan. I see Cindy Wellihan. I see Lisa Duncan. We've got a lot of our favorite people here. And again, please visit the website. Thank you, Maria, for filling in for Sarah and doing a great job in the chat. And if you can just give me 1 second to take the phone off the tripod so that Sarah and I are going to walk around. I'm going to film Sarah, and she's going to explain 4 of these paintings. There's 50 here, but Sarah's going to pick 4 that she really likes and show you through her eyes some of the techniques that her mom used throughout her career. Okay? Give me 1 second.
And this is my mom.
Oh yes, and this picture behind us, can you all see that?
It's my mom sketching in St. Thomas when she was on vacation. My dad took that photo, and then the gallery director surprised us and put it up here. So she's here with us.
Okay, awesome. Yes. So here, I'm gonna have to switch. How do I do this, Sarah? Do I do it there?
Yep.
Okay, all right. So let's go. Here's the one that's really interesting. So tell us about this one.
This painting is called Iona Vista 2. There are 3 of them. My mom often painted in a series, and this is a really great example of the white space. This painting was in my childhood home, and has been in my parents' home for the last 20 years. But this is a home that my mom actually lived in. She went on sabbatical to Scotland when I was, I think, 7, and it felt to me, we were talking about this, and it felt to me like she was gone for half a year, but I think it was only like 6 weeks. But as a child, I really missed her. But you can see, so this was a home that was right on the water, and you can see the homestead here, and there is no paint in the house. It's just the...
So that's so cool. I didn't, until you explained that to me, I didn't see it. Now I clearly see it. Do you guys all see that? There's no paint in the shape of that home. That is really something.
You know, that line right there is the roof, and it's, you know, she was so skilled at pulling together these, you know,
oh, Sarah,
pieces.
They're saying they can't hear you.
Oh.
Get a little closer to the phone. Thank you, Maura Lynch, for calling that out. Okay, so that's awesome.
Okay.
So let's go. You want to do this one?
Just don't trip.
Or this one here?
No, let's do
this one. Okay, this is beautiful.
So this...
Maura, let us know.
Thumbs up if you can hear us.
Yeah, thumbs up if you can hear us. Oh my goodness.
This is Yellow Palms, Key West, and there's others in this series too. And my mom really went from sort of the more realistic to more abstract in her painting, and really started playing with really bright colors. And all watercolors are different, but this was, you know, this was a point of abstraction that she started to use later in her career, and started to paint really large paintings. A lot of her paintings are on a more small scale size, and she was expert at painting small scale watercolors, which we'll show you.
Wow, beautiful.
Yeah.
Where are we going next?
Let's go to...
I'm gonna just scan the gallery. Isn't this the prettiest gallery? Look at this. Just so, and all of these paintings were framed by, were they all by your dad?
Not all of them. A lot of my father did frame a lot of them. My mom framed a lot of them. So these are this, you know, little trifecta here. They don't go together, but we love the colors together. And you may not be able to tell the scale, but she painted, this is only, the frame is 12 by 15, so the painting is actually only, you know, 5 by 8. And this is Racing Beach, which is a beach in Falmouth, which is close to our home. And, you know, she has so much details and uses color in a way that, you know, I think is just extraordinary. and really it's like an idea of like this home, and you can see exactly what's in the painting. But she painted very quickly, and she liked to paint what she saw in front of her. So she typically always painted outside whatever was in front of her. She didn't really like go back and paint from.
Yeah, and I love seeing some of the pictures of her. And Maura, I know Maura lives in Falmouth, a big Falmouth girl. Maura, some of these paintings have your name written all over them. Sarah actually gave me this one for Christmas, and I just love it. Love it, love it. Okay. So also I should mention, a lot of the originals are sold, but there are prints available. So anybody that likes something, there are prints available. Hello, Connie Barr. Okay.
So yeah.
And this is her mom. Yeah, look at these. Look at these pictures, guys.
Painting outside. She always had a sketchbook with her. Always had a set of brushes. Actually, that'll be neat to show. We can show the brushes over there.
Wow, beautiful, Sarah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So
okay, this one's pretty special.
Yeah, this is called.
Oh wow! Look at this.
Chaparral. It's in Napa, California. This is a big one. It's more than 3 feet by 2.5 or so. And this is an example of her painting later in her career, where it was really more abstract. And this is like basically foliage, but it was in California. And she uses in this one. It's watercolor, but she also uses pastel crayons.
And talk about your parents' love of travel.
Yes.
Talk about how what she did when she traveled, and how your dad supported her.
Yeah, I think they traveled. They loved to travel, and my mom would always, they would create trips around finding places to go paint, I think.
Let's walk over here. My eye candy. This is like eye camera, eye candy. So this one really is interesting.
Sonoma State Beach, and this is actually my dad.
It's your dad.
There are very few paintings with people in them.
Okay.
And this is one of them. So, they would take these trips and loved the huge coastline of the Pacific, and my mom just, loved being out there and capturing it in a way that made sense to her and sharing it. So these larger paintings were from some of those visits.
Yeah, and what I really loved, I came to one of the opening parties that Sarah and her family threw. Your father's just so full of joy. He really is. He's so proud of her, and this just shows the level of commitment to go on. This didn't just happen in an afternoon. They were on vacation, and her dad really just totally supported her mom. It's a beautiful, a beautiful love story, Sarah. This is love right now. Really love.
This
okay.
This is really beautiful. There's a lot of just very simple. This is in St. Thomas, again on vacation.
St. Thomas on vacation.
So when they would go on vacation, my mom would spend half of her time, alone painting by herself. But just these small. She would always try, or she would capture the sky in a way that Again, here's the white space. The sails are white space. The light on the water is white space. And we were talking with a friend recently, and she was sharing a story she taught with my mom, and she said, a student one time raised her hand and said, how long did this painting take you to paint? Not in reference to this painting, but she said, 30 years. It took me this long to master this skill. So
30 years, wow, that's incredible.
It was a hard medium, but she loved it, and she really enjoyed it.
Awesome. So how about, this one is the one that I love.
That's Penzance.
Yeah,
Point.
say that again. Maura Lynch, if you're still with us, this is another one that you might really love, Maura.
I have one of these at my house, too.
Yes, I've seen that at your house,
So this is Penzance Point in Woods Hole on the Cape, and it's called the Marsh in Autumn. And you can see she also occasionally would start with pencil sketching. I don't know if you can see that.
I can see that, yeah.
But just like a pencil sketch and then paint over it. And she would never erase the pencil. She would always leave it in there. This one actually says she wrote on it. Some rainy day at Penzance in Autumn.
Yeah, she wrote on it. Awesome.
And this is how she would carry her.
Oh, this is cool.
Things.
This is how she worked. Yes.
These are her brushes. She would roll them in, like a placemat.
A placemat.
Always
cool.
masking tape.
Always masking tape.
The palettes.
Now I know why Sarah always has her tools with her. Now I'm getting more Sarah here. Okay, Maria, just put the time in. Sarah and I both don't have a watch on. Just throw the time in there for us, because I could stay here all night. What is this one?
So
this one's incredible too.
This is Vineyard Trellis in Sonoma.
Oh, Aunt Joan, you might like that one.
Which
My
is
aunt lived in San Francisco.
Yeah, a place where my parents loved traveling to Sonoma together to go to the vineyards, to go drink wine. And our home in Falmouth, we actually call Sonoma East.
Oh, did you guys all hear that? Their home in Falmouth, they call Sonoma East. I love that.
Because we would say, are mom and dad ever coming home from Sonoma? So we made it Sonoma East.
They're saying it's 7:25, but we could look at these all day long. Me too. Okay, let's go, Sarah. Come on. I want to show a few more because these are just so incredible. Where do you want to go next? Oh, this one's cool.
Yeah, so this is called Boathouse Quisset.
Oh.
And it's just, we spend so much time on the Cape, so much time near water, and it was just, my mom really loved being near, like, nature. We lived in Wellesley for 6 years, and there's the Wellesley greenhouse. I'm trying to think of what's here, but she loved also painting. This is not right here. This is not the greenhouse. This painting to the right, but she loved to paint like flora and these small details. These are irises. She would just find a way to like make them come to life with her painting.
Somebody else is saying very interesting framing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the framing was mostly your dad oversaw that.
Yes, my dad and my mom. When she framed a lot of them, but and we try and pull colors out. And my mom was she liked crisp, clean lines in general. So a lot of a large white mat was sort of characteristic. And some of the paintings are framed with like their raw edge.
This is so different.
Yeah,
this is really. I'm gonna go this way on this. Rotate your phone. Nope, not letting me.
It doesn't. It doesn't. So this is sort of a family story, and it's very different from the rest of the paintings. And it's called Tabernacle, and it was really a story of my mom processing losing 2 of her siblings.
Wow.
There are 8.
Oh, wow.
8 paintings, and then she lost 2 siblings within 6 weeks of each other.
Oh, wow.
And so one of my cousins actually purchased this, and we're thrilled because we wanted to keep it in the family, and for us, it's gorgeous.
Oh, it's stunning. Did y'all hear that? Arlene is one of 8 children, and this represents her journey through some significant loss with 2 siblings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's just really something.
Yeah.
Wow, now I really understand it.
Yeah.
It stood out as very different.
It is.
From everything she's done.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it took a long time to come together. It was sort of like,
Oh my God, Sarah, that's just beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to show one more. What would you like to show?
Let's do this one.
Yeah, that is cool.
So this is called Cabana Morning, and it's one of 2. And again, this is when my parents were on vacation in St. Thomas. My poor dad. My mom just left him to paint the whole time.
They went on a lot of vacations, Sarah. You and Chris got to get going.
Yeah, but this is a good example of the white space. It's the beginning of the abstraction, using all the varied colors. Like it's a lot of greens and blues and kind of that orange and yellow. And it's the sunrise coming up. Yeah. But she painted so quickly, and that was she would stand because she wanted to capture what was happening. This show is called In the Moment. Oh,
did you all hear that? This show is called, Maria, if you can put that in the chat, this is called In the Moment. I love that. Yeah. I did know that, but now it's really, now I'm getting it.
So the idea is that every painting is it's like a snapshot. It's like a blink. And that's she painted, just, having a moment together.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, Maria is saying that the website is not letting her pull the links.
Oh, I can.
But we'll do that. And again, if any of you guys want any of these paintings or learn more about Arlene's incredible legacy, please get in touch with Sarah. You know how to find her. You can DM her. And some of these paintings are sold, but there are prints available for framing, and they're just exquisite. And I hope that let's put me in. Sarah back on now. Whoops, where's Sarah? There's Sarah. Here we are.
We need a longer arm.
Yeah, we need a lot. She's longer than me. I worked out this morning. I can't hold my phone up. I hope you enjoyed that. And Sarah, oh my God, really awesome. Thank you so much for 10 years. And I can't believe it took me 10 years to understand all of this about your mom. I knew she was talented, but this truly is just exquisite. If you do live in this area, please get over here to the gallery. I think you'll be just delighted to see them in person. And Sarah, thank you for inviting us in here. I thought this was just awesome, and I wanted to celebrate you and your mom, and I think we got it done.
Thank
so
you.
we're going to sign off tonight. We'll see you again next week. And again, the website, DM Sarah. This was really a celebration of art and life and love and all the things that are good in the world. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us.